Here's a game. Let's see. Let's try e4 here. Synthil 2016 from India. Okay. The Sicilian. Always nice to see a good fighting opening from black. What is his next move? Normal moves, yeah. They're knight f6 and d6, and also e6. a6, all kinds of moves possible. So I'm going for the open Sicilian. This can turn into a Sveshnikov, a Kalashnikov, or just a classical Sicilian if he plays later with d6. Or even some kind of dragon with d6 and g6. Lots of different ways it could go from here. So he didn't take. Taking is the normal response. And let's think about this. If I take, that helps him develop the bishop. I could play bishop to e3. Kind of encourage him to take. And then if he doesn't take, I will grab his pawn. So he decides to take. Okay. And so this turns into a normal kind of Sicilian position. Taimanov, it looks like. The Taimanov Sicilian. So if I develop my knight and he pins, and I can't play e5 here because he's already played knight f6. So I think that means I should play f3 to defend the pawn instead of defending with the knight. I could also develop the bishop and defend that way. The problem with f3 is it leaves this bishop a little bit loose on the bishop on e3 is a bit loose after f3, and he might consider a move like queen to b6 could be annoying. So we'll defend the pawn this way and castle. And my bishop on e3 is defending my knight, so I don't have to worry about that. And my queen is guarding the g4 square, so I don't have to worry about knight g4. He could play knight to, yeah, he could have played knight to b4, but bishop b4 check is probably okay as well. So I don't have to play knight to c3. Yeah, and now I can castle. And take it from here. Now if he takes my knight, I have the option of taking back with a pawn and getting a bigger center. I wonder, I think I should try and get f4 in. How is the best way to do that? Maybe if I defend the bishop first, so that I can move the f-pawn without worrying about, the queen also defends the e-pawn there. I mean the b-pawn. So I don't have to worry about things like queen to b6. Then I can play f4 and e5 and just try and clamp down on the center here a little bit. Clamp down on the center, make it hard for him to move that d-pawn. Yeah, so he moves the d-pawn right away. Probably a good choice. So, let's see. If I develop my knight to defend this pawn so I can take with a knight, what does that do? He takes the pawn, knight takes, knight takes. He could consider taking over here. I mean, he takes the pawn, knight takes, bishop takes. Takes this knight, I take back with this bishop. I guess that's okay. If I develop the knight and he pushes his pawn forward, then I'll take his knight. Yeah, and if I can play a good developing move, why not? Get all my pieces in the game, and take it from there. So now, if he doesn't take, should I take? I take. He could take back with either the pawn or the knight. Maybe knight takes, hitting my bishop. Would be the way for him to play that. But that would leave his king side a bit weak. I could play queen over here to... yeah, pawn takes opens up the bishop. Okay, so he goes after my bishop, my light-squared bishop. Very logical, and I want to keep that, so let's drop it back here. And now he really can play knight to g4 and win the bishop pair. He can win that dark squared bishop. I don't know if I have a good square to move it to. Yeah, there are squares I could move it to. I could consider bishop f4 after knight g4. Okay, do I want to play f4 anyway? Or should I prepare it by playing h3 first? Let's go h3. h3 and then f4, you know, the idea of kicking those knights around to less attractive squares. Maybe he's trying to set up the idea of the bishop here. Yeah, it looks like he is trying to skewer my queen and my rook. But my knight at the moment is guarding that square, so let's not overreact to that potential threat. I said my knight was there. My knight was there guarding that. So you cannot gain anything by playing that move. And now he's down a piece. That's an example, I guess, of following through your own plans without looking at what your opponent is doing. Well, let's see what he does here. I don't see how he saves a piece. I think he's got two issues there. He's got his knight hanging and my knight hanging. I can just keep taking stuff here, right? Yeah, he resigned. Okay, well, I think I will upload that. It ended kind of abruptly there, but it was an interesting opening, and I want to check that out. So I will do a post-mortem on this and see you guys later. Bye.